So we've got a bunch more to go through, including a brand new BANLIST, upcoming updates, new main box coming out, but also first of all, is Marek coming to the game. Now, this is neat because as you saw in my last video, there's been a bit of a time lag between them releasing characters from the first event to the rerun to the gate, and it's gotten way worse. Now, this is interesting because we should have got Tiger first, and this is the first time I believe they've ever gone and skipped a character ahead of time going to the gate, which is really weird. So yes, we've now gone to 249 days. It is an improvement over Vector by like a week and a half, which is good, but Yuka is going to be in that 300 day range. It'll either be 290 to 300 days, if not longer, which is still going to suck. So we're not, out of the clear anytime soon. And also, people are having issues with unlocking him in general. Apparently, they're reaching stage 6, they've got the mission done, but he doesn't appear. So that's not a overly good sign so far. We then had a brand new BANLIST, which I was going to go through and do a reaction to, but then I thought, okay, we heard about counter-tech duels, and I thought, okay, I'll save them for the updates because it'll be kind of weaker, but then we didn't hear about that until now. It's all been a mess. So overall BANLIST is a W, right? You're hitting FDK stuff, you're hitting B-Trooper after so long because hitting the Scary Moth, I believe it is, didn't do that much. This one is a much more drastic hit, and so I think that the B-Troopers are gonna really fall off from this one. You've got Nibiru going to 3, and Traptrix Garden going to 3, which does cut you out of your Book of Eclipse in Traptrix, and obviously Nibiru is now on there as well. So you can't play your Eclipse and your Nibiru, which is, I think that's fine. I don't think it's going to be too major of a change. This one, moving it from from Traptrix probably is, given that the last BANLIST, they kind of dodged a bullet, right? So it now brings it down a bit, which makes sense given the brand new box is coming out. You've then got a bunch of frees, so Pleiades, Orcus being freed, Lyrilusk, which all of those are perfectly fine. They haven't done anything in a while, that's cool. Rush Duel got a really weird limit to, right, on Chibodish and your Action Melody. Now, this is the perfect way to bring the power level of this deck way down. The issue is they only hit this deck, and not, something like, say, Red Eyes, which was obviously brand new, or things like Hero, that have been around for longer. And so you've still got this circulation to Pot of Greed into your Shining Fire Wingman, into you dying in the format. So I think it's kind of like, I said in the video the other day, right, that the reason why they probably haven't done it is because Hero is why they're selling older boxes still, right? It's the only reason they're selling. So I think that they're keeping it around because they've not reprinted it yet. It's not a dead build, so there's no real need to hit it. So this makes sense, but we'll see how things kind of evolve for Rush Duel, if it's going to be a very, even more OTK format going forward, right? Or if, this existing menu played things like your Shiny Shady, now maybe less so, right? We'll have to wait and see. And of course, Unlims was Gaia, made no difference, and this card here made no difference. Like, maybe you can play Gaia Music Princess, right? Maybe that's their intention here, because it's limit 2 before. But this is, it's already available only at 1 copy in the loaner deck, so it's not really going to do anything at limited, but it wasn't doing it too. So overall, no real big change for that one. Now, skill-wise is more interesting, right? Because there was, again, no real hits to rush skills, which kind of need to be hit at some point. We got the Sword Soul Springen's Law skill changed, which is a weird 50-50 change because sometimes you want that shuffle back with that deck, I believe, so it's kind of a nerf, even though it's presented as a buff. So some hands can do better with the send back. Baron Scale Straw got a pretty big buff in that you now haven't got to reveal a certain card back, you just get the draw 2. So that's another skill becoming Pot of Greed. Neat. Sun God's Flare was kind of why we assumed Marek was coming back soon, because why would you buff this skill and have it not be available? So they've made it able to play Nibiru, which obviously is good, and also made it so that the third part works when you've got a body on your field as well. So also a really good change, making that deck a little bit better in the current environment. That's great. This one was a surprising thing, the Royal Rebel skill, because this has the potential to potentially go straight to one of the best decks in theory, because you've now got easy access to piercing, right? And you've now got much bigger walls, and you can attack directly after you've nuked your opponent's board and burned them. So it kind of brings Rebels more in line with something like, say, Hero, in a way, in terms of their OTK viability. So we'll see how that works out. Like, maybe there'll be a deck with box and we get more support, or maybe it's kind of more set up for the mini box coming, we assume, in May with WCQ event, that we usually see a structure deck, mini box for both formats, right? So that will be pretty cool. We then had the upcoming updates that, as I said, were a bit lackluster because we knew KC Cup, nothing exciting there. Toggle Mission Bingo, given the same SR card we've had a bunch of times, nothing exciting there. Duelist Road rerun, like, the cool thing is we're getting Totem Bird, which is a cool rank 3 Xyz that's pretty good, but again, only Senex can run it, but it's still a nice card to have, and that was kind of it. Now, the weird thing with this is that we know this event starts, I believe, on the 20th, and will end on the 28th, based on the maintenance from the ban list, right? From the skill text app updating, we know there's a maintenance on the 28th. Now, it could mean that they're putting a maintenance during the middle of the event, which they've done before, and would then mean our first event for May would start May 1st, and so it would hit the cutoff for April updates. But if not, then they've gone out their way to completely not tell us about an event and make the month seem less good, which, yeah, it feels a bit weird, and felt like Luster before we knew about the character deck duels, but again, we've done that one in the last video. We've then got the brand new box and bundle with Destroyer Phoenix bringing DP to the format, but we'll go to DLM to check out the cards in more detail. So we're getting Dragoon as a bundle card, which is interesting because over in Duel China, this was in the box and then DP was in the skill, and over here in Global, we've got Dragoon in the bundle and DP in the box, and so seems a bit weird, right? I assume it's doing half damage in Duel Links rather than just doing full damage, which would make sense. And then of course they're getting a very, very pushed skill that I would be shocked if this did not become a tiered deck. It would be very, very hard for that to happen in my opinion. We're also getting skills for Tidal, which is neat, I guess. Again, following on from the previous ones, right, for Fire and for Wind. We've got Therians coming to the game, and we've got XYZ, ABC, Dragon, Catapult, Cannon, Buster, the whole shebang, right? And so the box overall is looking really, really solid, I think, right? Like, Ultra Rise, Dragon Maid support, which the only bad thing about this is that you've got to go into the old box to get the cards, right? Even though they didn't reprint them properly in the selection box. And so you've got to go into the old main box to get the chambers. And this is a deck type I like playing in Master Duel. I actually haven't played with new support. I bought new support, bought the bundles, but then I didn't play the deck. And so maybe there's a chance that I go into this one for Speed Duel and get a new Speed Duel deck. That might be a thing we do, because I really do enjoy the Dragon Maid deck type. Final Barrier being reprinted is really cool. Again, we have to add it to the spreadsheet, track it, see what happens there. I believe this one is like 440 days, I think, from release through to the reprint, so that's not too bad at all. Actually, it might be a year one. It might be like a year, just over. We've then got XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. The brand new boss monster for the deck is a quick effect pop, which is perfectly fine, right? Obviously, you've got ABC Dragon Buster, which was the main boss of the strategy in the TCG for a while now. A super rare, which is really, really surprising. I kind of would have thought they'd go this one at UR as well, but they've decided to put the main deck cross cannon here at UR, which is fine. Therians are a really cool package you can splash into multiple decks, in the same way I guess that Rika is as well. And now we've got full power Rika. They're done. Dragon Maid, I believe, are done. Are Therians done as well? I don't think they are, but like, it wouldn't surprise. No, okay, no, we are missing the Sargass and of course any of these sprite cards as well. Okay, these ones are more like side support, I imagine. So we've got the majority of the deck type, right? We've got the entirety of XYZ, entirety of Dragon Maid, entirety of Rika now, and we've got DPE, which was really, really good in Master Duel back in 2022, I want to say. Potentially a very scary card for the format, right? But like, you think Dragoon and DPE are the two horsemen of the generic fusion boss apocalypse, right? If we had Verte, things would be way different, but we don't, which is good. Fusion Destiny, being you are, being at 3 is probably does make sense, right? Locking you out of the Nibiru, out of your Eclipse, that seems perfectly okay. And the rest of the box, you've got Area, I guess that's for Rika, which is a bit of a weird inclusion, but sure. You've got, again, Unit Activation, you've got Unit Hanger as well, so you are going to be getting like the majority of the deck type, which is neat. Machina is coming as well, so this in Duel Links China was given out via an event, and so I assume that we're going to be seeing more Machina support come by Alister when he unlocks tomorrow, which will be pretty cool, to potentially have that deck almost complete in Duel Links. Right, we're going to have a look and see what we're missing, right? What are we missing right now? We're missing Metal Cruncher and Overdrive. Both of those were the event cards, which you can't really see on the screen. Both of those were the event cards given out in China for free, so I imagine, hopefully we see them at some point soon, because this by itself is not really going to do much for the deck type, right? We do need the rest of the support. Let's quickly go and check on XYZ. That was really not a great cover. Let's go Union. Union probably going to be a bit better tell, right? So it does seem like, aside from like Union Carrier, which of course we were never going to be getting, we are getting basically the entire theme, right? We're getting the enemy controller one. That's cool. We've got the Zezian tank and the Y Yarrowhead. So yeah, it does seem like we are going to be getting the majority, if not all, of XYZ. So overall, seems like the most exciting main box in a bit of a while for me personally. Again, the damage support in the January one was okay, and that didn't convince me, but this one might. This one just might. And I think that is all for the video overall. I believe we've gone through basically everything we've got coming to Duel Links very, very soon. Of course, Alister tomorrow, which we'll talk about his event cards and, you know, go through all of that when he's unlocked. You know, he's bringing the Silver Calcos with an animation, which looks really cool. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for watching. Adios.